With you again. This is Ethan from EB China, and this lecture we will introduce and show you more products we produced. As you know, we are Internal Phillips and Casting and Forging Company Limited, a professional supplier of heat, wear, precision resistance, castings and forgings, and we also export some machines and protective items. And we are located in Wuxi, Jiangsu province, about 150 kilometers far away from Shanghai. So we usually export alloying castings and forgings from Shanghai Seaport by sea or Shanghai Pudong International Airport by air. And we have exported to many countries like European, American, Australian, Japan, and other countries in Asia, and so on. And now we have been the gold supplier of Alibaba International for more than 6 years, and the regarded of capital of our company is more than 13.14 billion Chinese yuan. And we also have part meaning certificates about ISO certificate and other certificate confirmed by the TUV Relaying Land or the SGS organization, and also the third party have come, for example, the TUV Relaying have come to our company and forging to use the on-site assessment in recent 2 years. And we have passed the ISO 19001, the Quality Management System Certificate, the ISO 14001, the Environmental Management System Certificate, and the ISO 45001, which calls Occupational Health and Safety Management System Certificate. And there are other third party came to our company and foundry to use the on-site assessment. For example, like SGS organization and other third confirmed party come to our company and foundries. And we warmly hope every friend can come to our company and foundries to visit our one day. And then next, we will introduce some more information about some certificate to you. As you see on the screens are the two main important ISO certificates we have passed. Now I will show you more details. The first ISO certificate, as you see in my hand, which is called the Quality Management System Certificate, presented to Wuxi Internal Phillips and Casting and Forging Company Limited. And this Quality Management System complies with GBOT 19001-2016. It also called ISO 9001-2015 requirements. And the certificate is valid for the following scope: supply of alloying castings and forgings. The certificate number, which is 05321 Q30055R0S. And the certificate date is on the January 12th, 2021. And the certificate valid date is January 12th, 2021 to January 11th, 2024. And this date of intentional gratification is on January 12th, 2021. And the Unified Social Credit of Creative Organization, which is 913 202.11.0915.219.27F. And this certificate information can be found on the official website, and this is more details about our quality management system certificate, as you see, which is the ISO 9001. The next ISO certificate, which is called the Environmental Management System Certificate. It also presented to our company, which is Internal Beliefs and Casting and Forging Company Limited. And this environmental management system complies with GBOT 24001-2016. It also called the ISO 14001-2015 requirements. And the environmental management system certificate is valid for the following scope: supply of alloying, casting, and forgings, and sets. And this certificate number is as same as the last one. Here is our environmental environmental management system certificate with ISO 40001. And there are also another ISO certificate, which for the occupational health and safety management system certificate presented to our company. And this occupational health and safety management system certificate comply with GBT 45001-2020, also called ISO 45000-2018 requirements. Certificate is valid for the following scope: the supply of alloying castings and forgings and sets. There are other information is as same as the last two ISO certificates. So if you are interested in our ISO certificate, you can send us your inquiries, or you can ask on the Alibaba International. And at this time, please follow our show. You are always welcome. And we also doing other certificates. As you see, the first is Verified Supplier Certificate, which presented to our company, and its certificate number, which is 20881155-T, and this on-site assessment was conducted for our company by the 2V Rahane. And as I told you before, Wuxi Internal Beliefs and Casting and Forging Company Limited have been the gold supplier of Alibaba International for more than 6 years. So we also have other certificates from other organizations. As you see on screen first, you should report the all-duty supplier certificate presented to our company, and it's a recognition of your set acceptance and business operations, and audited by the SGS-CSTC on 2020, June 15th. It will also be confirmed by the MadeInChina.com. The audited report serial number, which calls the QIP-ASI 204795. And we also win some great. We also have some glories about our quality and credit from our local government and other cities' government. And we are a member of the Prime Minister Chamber of Pyramids University. And we also win some awards. We also win some awards, which called the Manufacturing Excellence Innovation Awards 2020. And these Manufacturing Excellence and Innovation Awards presented to our company will be confirmed by the Made in China.com, the SGS organization, the TUV, the Hangland organization, and other organization which called the Brewer Verities. And during this time, today we have get more than 22 different patents about different products in different industry. For example, like the ceramic liners, which you use for the bone mire machines in the mire industries. And we also produce the some liners with our new patents, which called the boltless liners. It means that you should not prepare the bolts for the liners, which when you make the liners use the bone mire machines. So it will help you lose cost and then give you a more reliable and more useful of bone mire liners. And we have also have other 20 patents, including different products. If you are interested, then please send us your inquiries in Alibaba International. And the next is our combined internal base alloy casting and forging community is specialized in supply of heat where corrosion resistant castings and forgings and machines and protective items. And our global brand, which is called EB, which have E and B. And here in the next is the four main important parts about our company, which produce and the service we can support for you. So the first part is about the corrosion resistant castings, including 5 different materials. The first is the copper alloy, cobalt alloy, nickel alloy, titanium alloy, and the aluminum alloy. These 5 different materials is used very widely and commonly in our daily life. For example, you can see the bronze both in some machines. And even in your mobile phones, there are many smaller bolts in yet and not in yet. And the first part, these 5 different materials is very common, and we are very professional produced about smaller or bigger or the huge castings and forgings. So if you have inquiry including this part with us, you're always welcome. And the next is about the heat treatment castings. Also, it's called the heat castings, including different castings which you can take over high temperatures and use in some heat treatment industries, like the heat treatment fixtures, the radiator tubes, the furnace rollers, the melting kitties, the select ports, the grate bars, and even furnace feed plants. And the third part, by the way, the heat treatment castings we produce may popular is about the heat ware or heat treatment plants for different size. You can put the net or which made of the heat treatment materials, put it in the heat treatment trails, or the heat treatment baskets. And the third part of the products we may produce is about the wire castings. And the wire castings is very commonly used due to it need to get ability of wear resistance. It is commonly seen on the crushers due to the orange materials need to be crushed and crushers by the crushers like jaw crusher, bone crusher, roller crushers, and other crushers. So the material is very important for the wear resistant part. It also including 5 different materials like the acronium, white iron castings, the nickel hard, white iron castings, the chromium anneal, alloy steel castings, the high magnesium steel castings, and the wheel parts for pressures. And this is the 5 main important products we produce for the wheel castings. And the last part is our EB machines, including different parts like the mixture machines, the crusher machines, the central divided machines, or even like the customer make consulting service and the service on long service life and material selection for the grinding equipment, and even about the melting below fabric making machines. And due to during this year, the COVID-19 is very serious, so we also have some mask machines, including the KN95 and Suplay mask machines. And the last is about some industries, for example, like the drilling rig machines for the water wire or other use. And the last is about the industry robots, including load handling, welding, the painting, or other industry robots. If you are interested in the products we may produce on the screens, please send us your inquiries. You are always welcome. And at this time, please follow us Alibaba International Shop. And this is my introduction about our company, Wuxi Internal Beliefs Alloy Casting and Forging Company Limited. And the next, please welcome my colleague to a wonderful live show. And thank you. Now let's welcome Shelly to a wonderful live show. Let's welcome Shelly.
Hello everyone, this is Shelly from EB China. Welcome to our live show today about melting cable casting and slack pot casting. For catalog, part 1 is melting cable casting. Part 2 is slack pot. Part 3 is melting cable welding casting. Okay, the part 1, melting cable casting. Firstly, what is the melting pot? The melting kettle is used to melt metal metal products. A melting pot is a pot in which metals or other substances can be melted or heated up to a very high temperature. Melting kettle furnaces are designed for the melting and the refilling of no melting point. Non-ferrous metals such as lead, tin, zinc, aluminum, and other elements. Next, detailed description for melting paper casting. For material grade, alloy steel, carbon steel, head-based cast iron. For portrait never, as national standard and international standard. For production process, same process including machining process, such as drilling and tapping parts. The choice from material selection due to above advantage in terms of survival life. Cast steel has been becoming more significant in the melting pot construction. Over the last few years, against both materials, cast iron and lambda graphite, cast iron, in combination with other materials, cast steel offers excellent retail possible as it is well suited for welding. Next, special features from melting paper casting. The first one is we can make big size alloy steel casting with same process from melting paper casting. The second one is we can spread finished alloy steel casting with heat treatment and machining process. For third one is we can produce alloy steel castings as per ASTM A27, GBT 2878, DIN 17040, DIN 17224, AISI, ASTM, and BS970. The last one is the biggest steel casting we can achieve so far in 300 pins per piece. Next, quick details. For cities, it has 10 pins, 20 pins, 25 pins, 50 pins, 70 pins, 100 pins. For process, same casting, including machining process, service, OEM and ODM. For size, customer size. For certification, ISO 9001 to 2018. For quality control, 100% inspected, slide ability for 4,000 pins per year. Lead time. If you want to buy 1 to 100 kilograms, the lead time is about 20 working days. 101 to 1,000 kilograms, the lead time is about 45 working days. Next, test report for melting kettle casting. You can see this is inspection report for 50 case melting kettle casting. The material is BS3100A4. For inspection report, the section 1 is chemical composition test report. The section 2 is dimensional check report. The section 3 is product photos. For section 1, chemical composition test report for melting kettle casting. You can see the part name is 50 tins melting kettle. The material is BS3100A4. For composition, the carbon is 0.22. The balance is iron. For property, tensile stress is 491. Yield stress is 245. Elongation is 28. Section 2 is dimensional check report from melting kettle casting. You can see the big size is diameter 3,632 millimeters. Next, this video is chip size for melting kettle casting. Okay, if you're interested in our melting kettle casting, please follow our shop. Thank you. Next, part 2, slab pot castings. First name, what is slab pot? Product description. The slab pot is used to sip metal solution in production. The slab pot is an important equipment in steel making production. It is a container for high temperature slab production during the smelting process of steel. It has a four-shaped container with napkin containers on both sides. Slab pot touched by metallurgical companies generally use the traditional casting process, which has a long manufacture clear, short service life, and a large number of scrapes. Great Wall cast steel has increased with innovations in the production of slab tape, and its slab tape has a short casting and a long service life, strong deformation ability. Next, introduction for slab pot. For type is cast steel pass. For application is metallurgical industry. For processing is sand casting. For material is cast steel. for which is 10 pin to 20 pins. For design support, it has Pro-E, UG, SolidWorks, Auto3D, and PDF. For quality control, materials, test report, dimensional test report, reform inside defect balance test report. For standard, ASTM, BIA, ISO, and GB standard. Next, some photos for slab course. Next, material grade for slab course. The first one is carbon steel. For example, CG 232 450. The international standard is BS 310084. For competition, the iron is balanced. The second one is nickel chromium quantum alloy steel. The material grade is AS 2774 to L5B. For composition, you can see the carbon is less than 0.35%. The chromium is 1.0 to 1.5%. The molten is 0.45 to 0.6%. The third one is heat resistance cast iron. For composition, the carbon is 3.4 to 3.8%, and the iron is balanced. Next, the first one is ductile iron. For example, QT 400 to 80. For composition, the carbon is 3.8%, and the iron is balanced. For properties, the tensile strength is about 400. The yield stress is about 250. The elongation is about 80. The last one is green iron, such as HT100, HT150, HT200, and HT250, HT300, and HT350. The balance is iron. Next, some test report for slab course. This one is dimensional test report for slab course. You can see the big size is about 2,306 millimeters. Next, test report and the shipment for slab course. If you're interested in our slab course, please follow our show. Thank you. Next, part 3, melting table welding photos, welding photos. You can see this photos is melting paper. The process is welding. Next, the joints for melting paper welding casting. You can see the inner diameter is 2020 millimeter. The height is 2150 millimeter. The thickness is 25 millimeter. Okay, and if you interested in our melting paper welding casting, please follow our show. Thank you. That's all for my speech now. Thank you for your valuable time. Welcome to our next lab show. Thank you. Welcome my colleague. 哎呀，听，还是听哦，他。
Hello everyone, this is Steve from EB China.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Hannah from CB China. Let us introduce the new concept of fine brushing and building technology in cement and mining industries.
Based on the theory of ball system engineering, this paper exposed the comprehensive application of the science and technology in the fine crushing and grinding process, and put forward a new concept of cement and mine crushing and grinding technology through the analysis of the working conditions and the operation of each working part of the ball mill.
For the introduction, cement and mining industries are the basic industries in the national economy. They have the characteristics of sustainability, large volume, and high energy consumption. Therefore, high efficiency and low consumption are permanent topics in the cement and mining industries. Throughout the domestic and foreign markets, there are large ups and downs and fierce competition, and the ultimate goal of the enterprise competition is quality and cost. Therefore, technological upgrading and equipment optimization should be the top priority of current enterprise development.
The project technical background. Number one, crushing and grinding production lines are largely used in the production of mining cement, battery power, chemical industry, building materials, and other industries. Plays a pivotal and fundamental role in the traditional manufacturing industry, and is also the main link for mining, cement, and other enterprises to improve efficiency and reduce consumption. After all, oils such as gold, silver, copper, iron, and tin are mined, they need to go through primary crushing, medium crushing, fine crushing, and then through grinding progress to slate fine oil powder. Every year, nearly 2.4 billion tons of cement, fill materials and chemicals are crushed and ground, and the progressive intensity of crushing and grinding process exceeds 6 billion tons. About 1.7 billion tons of gold used in the coal-fired power plants must be crushed before it is injected into the boilers for consumption and powder generation.
In 2019, China produced 9.96 million tons of steel, based on the average annual employment of 13%, 13.3 billion tons of iron alone needs to be crushed and ground every year. Copper, gold, molybdenum, chromium, and other metal mines have similar production processes. For the first one, the groundwork and the sand used in concrete should be broken and firmly broken before it can be applied to all kinds of construction projects. Number two, crushing and grading processes consume about 4 million tons of very resistant materials every year. Number three, the power consumption of crushing and grading takes up nearly 70% of the food production process. Therefore, the improvement of crushing and grading production technology is the main direction for enterprises to achieve energy saving, consumption reduction, and benefit improvement.
The project's typical background to mistakes of current crushing and grinding process. Number one, ball mill is called low efficiency machine. In fact, it is a misunderstanding. People do not really understand the ball mill. It is the deceiver machine in the grinding progress. Number two, the ball mill has been around for more than 100 years. Over the past 100 years, great changes have taken place in the grinding progress. The fitting particle size of the bone mill has changed from about 200 millimeters in sample production to about 1 millimeters in the modern mass production.
And the second part about the new conceptual crushing process. Crushing and grading production is the main link in cement production and the mine beneficiation, and its power consumption accounts for nearly 70% of the entire production process. Therefore, the improvement of the crushing and grading production process is the main goal of the enterprise to achieve energy saving, consumption reduction, and efficiency improvement.
The significance of the new concept progress established the supporting scales of the formula under the new materials condition and efficiently combined with the roller press, vertical nylon and other medium and fine crushing crushers. Improve the output, reduce energy consumption, improve the particle form, optimize the particle structure, and obtain the optimal performance of cement or significantly improve the beneficiation rate.
The ball mill ceramic lining plate are all patented products. We put forward the bottom system energy theory, and according to the system energy theory, is the ball mill grading process to make a coat-making changes, design and launch the ceramic lining plate and the micro-ball combination to increase output and reduce consumption. The proportion of ceramic is only about 47% of steel. which can reduce the rate of the lining plate by more than 15%, improve the efficiency of the ball mill, and reduce the energy consumption of ball mill. Ceramics have extremely high wear resistance, greatly reducing the running cost and the maintenance rate of the ball mill.
This is the photos of cement lining length. This is our sample.
The next for the significance of the new conceptual process. For the first of all, establishing the working state of the ball mills under the new material condition. The second, effectively combining it with the lower price. The third of all, increasing the output. And the fourth, reducing energy consumption. The fifth, improving particle shape. And optimizing particle structure. And for the last one, striving for the highest strength of cement.
Our ball mills modified according to the concept process reduces 90% of the bottom of the mill bearing, which not only reduces the manufacturing cost and materials of the ball mill increases the strength of the bearing body, but also establishes the link of powder and materials and greatly improves the working environment of the workers.
The preliminary experiment of this project. For the first of all, our new conceptual grading process has been used commercially on cement mills with diameters of 3.8 meters and 4.2 meters. Number two, ceramic lining plate is used in industrial application with nitro grading board on cement mill with diameter of 3.8 meters.
Number three, if the cement mill with a diameter 4.2 multiply 70.5 meters, the output of 42.50 grams cement that is as high as 290 tons, and the powder consumption is about 224 degrees per ton. The powder consumption is about 30 to 33 degrees per ton, and the traditional design is used in the same type of mile standard. The next, the cement ball mill rice boat has been used in Tianjin Zhengxi cement factory for more than 16 months. It has been validated by the customer that the liner is mature and stable, and the wear-resisting performance is extremely ideal, which determines to directory the ball mill lining board in the future and its making production.
The experimental results. In an industrial test of 3.8 multiply 30 meters diameter cement mill, a single beam composed of a combined self-cementing board. Free liner has been successfully run for 7 years. Compared with the traditional mill, the output has been increased by 13%. The power consumption per ton is about 25 degrees, and more importantly, the service life of wear-resistant materials has been increased by more than 15%.
In conclusion, number one, the new concept of casting and grinding technology can increase the output of the ball mill by more than 20%, save about 20% of electricity and extend the life of wear-resistant materials by more than 50%.
Number two, under the new working conditions, the work tasks of the existing formulas have undergone a fundamental change. It is necessary to fully study the formulas and use comprehensive technology to improve the effective powers of the formulas.
Number three, the ball grinding the ball mill is of the no practical significance. Only the ball with uniform ball diameter has the greatest grinding ability.
Number four, the single chamber mill, composed of a variety of liners with different surface shapes, can greatly increase the output of the mill and greatly reduce the power consumption.
Number five, excellent wear-resistant materials are the basis of the new concept of crushing and grinding technology.
Number six, in the thermal system energy theory, ceramics liner and metal burrs will be the best combination, and it can effectively reduce hexavalent chromium pollution.
In the new concept of ball-mill system engineering, whether it is cement or mines, whether it is dry or wet processes, we do not hesitate to recommend cement liners.
Thanks for your watching. If you are interested in our products, please contact us.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Carrie from EV China. Today I will show something about cobalt alloy and metal alloy. That's our key. Tonight I will tell you something about welding rods. And the exact color is about 7 parts. And I will show something about the first part. It is about copper steel welding rods, raw alloy steel welding rods,
stainless steel welding rods, and the last is about stainless welding rods. Okay, the first part is about basic instruction about carbon steel electrode. Carbon steel electrode, the tensile strength distorted the metal is less than or equal to 500 ampere, and it is namely about 20 kilograms millimeters too. And also, it is suitable for welding carbon steel, and it is low strength, low alloy steel. And also, there's about 2 pictures attached to it, and you can see and get something about the shape and the color and the package. And the next part is about principles of using carbon steel electrodes. For low hydrogen type and iron powder type electrodes, the electrodes must be baked at 350 degrees or higher before welding. And also, they should be baked as much as possible, and it is used as much as possible. And otherwise, welding defects such as porosity, slack inclusion, cracks, deterioration of precise performance, and electricity. And for two-side electrodes, they should be baked strictly to counter the baking temperature, and it is specified in the instructions. And also, if the temperature is too hot, the cellulose in the coating will be burnt out, and the inherent precise performance of the electrode, and will be destroyed. And also, when using low hydrogen electrodes, the welder should stay upwind to strengthen the exhaust to prevent welding fumes from harming the body. And the last principle, it is about for the low hydrogen electrode, the baking times should not exceed twice as much as possible. And it is to prevent the coating from becoming brittle and falling off. And the next, it is about principles of carbon steel electrodes, and it is also 3 pictures attached to it. And also, you can get something about shape, color, and package. And also, there are pictures about carbon steel electrodes. And you can see it is black, and it is the shape. And the next part, it is about low loss steel electrode. And the first, it is about basic instruction about it. For those who require good plastic high impact toughness, good low temperature performance, and strong crack resistance. And it also uses alloy or high toughness electrodes And also for welding a medium carbon steel or caster steel. Generally, choose usual low hydrogen or high toughness electrolytes and all supplemented by precise measures such as preheating. And the next it is about classification of low alloy steel electrolytes. Low alloy steel electrolytes it is divided into the following three categories. The first 150 kilograms plus is coated metal MS or SI series, and it is a structural steel electrode. And the second it is about metal bundle and metal bundle free lead heat resistance steel electrolytes. And the last it is about low temperature steel electrode. Okay, the next it is about instruction for use of low alloy steel electrolytes. The use of low alloy structural steel electrolytes. It is generally based on the stress grade of the steel, and also at the same time, it also needs to be integrated and encounter the weldability of the steel and the section of the base metal composition, the size, shape, screw, and force of the welding structure, and it is configured. And the second is the unfavorable situation that the welding seam it has a higher cooling rate, and which increases the stress and the weld joint. It is prone to cracks, and it is an electrode with a lower strength than the base metal, and can often be selective. And last, it is in case of multi-layer welding of thick plates or normalizing after welding. It is necessary to prevent the phenomenon of low weld strength. Okay, the next part about low alloy steel electrolytes. Welcome my colleague Bruce to introduce to you.
Hello, this is Bruce from EB China. Next is about the instructions for use of low alloy steel electrodes. Molybdenum and electric heat-resistant steel electrodes commonly used alloy elements in heat-resistant steel are chromium, molybdenum, vanadium, neon, etc. to meet different working requirements. Due to the joint effect of carbon and alloy elements in steel, it is easy to form hardened structure during welding, and the welding performance is poor. Therefore, electric heat-resistant steel is generally preheated before welding and tempered after welding. When welding dissimilar steels, the materials that are compatible with intermediate composition are generally selected, and the appropriate preheating temperature and post-weld shifting conditions should be selected according to the materials with all relativity. When used alone for thick watch pipe welding, low hydrogen heat resistance, steel electrodes should be used. The use of low temperature steel electrodes. According to the characteristics of the low temperature liquefied gas production process, low temperature steel is used according to different operating temperatures. For example, below 40, below 70, below 90, below 100, below 196, below 252. The corresponding welding materials are selected. The next is stainless steel electrode. The picture on the right of the screen is the appearance of this product. Stainless steel electrode refers to a type of electrode coated with stainless steel as a source material. Can be divided into chromium stainless steel electrode and chromium nickel stainless steel electrode, which are widely used in chemical, fertilizer, petroleum, medical machinery, manufacturing, and other industries. Through the transition of various alloy elements between the welding core and coating, the weld metal becomes a certain amount of acid-marked and bridge structure to ensure that the weld metal has both good crack resistance and good resistance to corresponding medium. Through the welding core or coating, a certain amount of carbide forming elements, such as niobium, molybdenum, titanium, etc., can be infiltrated into the weld metal to form stable puppies with carbon to prevent the formation of chromium puppies and the grain boundary. Through the transition of this is the performance requirements. The carbon content in the welding core and the coating materials should be strictly controlled. Low carbon or ultra low carbon is recommended. The welding core using low carbon or carbon-free iron alloy and metal elements as raw materials for the coating. We should strictly control the content of sulfur and phosphorus in the stainless steel welding core and coating in order to reduce the risk of thermal cracks in the weld. Next is the classification. The first one is chromium stainless steel electrode. After welding, the weldment should be tempered at 700 degrees Celsius. Only by adopting the above mentioned technological measures can the weld and the pitch affected zone be prevented from cracking due to the greater tendency of hardening. The second is CR17 series stainless steel electrodes such as G300, G302, G307, and other electrodes are CR17 series stainless steel electrodes with rich structure. And when using this series, you should pay attention. The weldment should be preheated to 200 degrees Celsius before welding and to carry out 800% angry treatment of welding. Only by adopting the above mentioned technological measures can weld and heat affected zone be brittle at 475 degrees Celsius and cracks due to the greater tendency of hardening. The next is chromium nickel stainless steel electrode. This type has good corrosion resistance and oxidation resistance. However, due to the pitch heating during the process, the precipitated particles will reduce the corrosion resistance and mechanical properties. Therefore, when choosing chromium nickel stainless steel electrodes, welding should be considered the working temperature and the medium types of the parts. Here are some selection principles. You should pay special attention to the carbon content of the selected electrode not to exceed the carbon content of the base material. Considering the performance of the welding process, in recent years, titanium calcium coated electrodes are the most popular and are widely used. Titanium calcium type coated electrodes not only has good welding performance, but also can be welded in all positions. It's one of the commonly used coating types. Alkali coated stainless steel electrodes are rarely used for welding. Austenitic stainless steel. They are only used to solve cold cracks in static stainless steels or welding structures with high quality. In order to improve the stability of the arc, generally alkali metals with lower ionization potential and alkali metal oxides are used as arc stabilizers. The second principle is that the electrode should be selected according to the working temperature of the corrosive medium. For welding set to work at room temperature and the corrosive medium is not corrosive, stainless steel electrodes that do not contain MB or TI can be used for welding. And when the structure works above 300 degrees Celsius, and the medium is very corrosive, stainless steel electrodes containing MB or TI elements or ultra low should be used for welding. This is another principle. In order to ensure the various properties of the steel, the composition of the selected electrode should be similar to that of the base and the corresponding preheating and post-treatment methods should be adopted. Chromium nickel stainless steel electrode welding may also be used, but after welding, no heat treatment. As you can see the two pictures on the screen, it is the standard welding rods. It is often used under conditions that require well resistance and corrosion performance. This is the appearance of standard welding rods. You can take it as a reference. The next is about aluminum welding rods. They are mainly used for welding aluminum and aluminum alloys that do not require high joint performance. The welding seam of this product has good thermal shock resistance and is often used for welding aluminum plates. Silicon castings, generally alloys, forged aluminum, hard aluminum, etc. But it is not suitable for welding aluminum organism alloys. And also it has good corrosion resistance and can be used for welding aluminum manganese alloy, pure aluminum and other aluminum alloys. when using aluminum manganese electrodes. Since the instructions for use. During welding, the arc stability is poor, the stretch is large, so DC power supply must be used. In addition, the electrode coating is easy to be absorb moisture, so it should be stored in a dry sealed container, and it must be dry at about 150 degrees Celsius for about 1 hour before welding. In order to prevent the above defects such as metal oxidization, elements burnout, holes, and cracks, in order to storing and drying the welding edge, chemical cleaning and or mechanical removal of the groove dirt is also used. The preheating temperature should be appropriate and the short arc welding should be used. The speed should be accelerated and the horizontal swing should not be performed. The next is nickel and nickel alloy electrode. Sometimes used for welding dissimilar metals. Considering the alloy loss of the electrode in the arc, some other elements should be included in the choke to improve the weld performance of welding process performance. They are mainly used for welding pure nickel and high nickel alloys. When you select this material, the electrode should be close to that of the base metal to ensure that the performance of the welded joint is equivalent to that of the base metal. However, considering the alloy is also the welding joint in the arc, some other elements should be included in the welding rods to improve the weld performance or welding process performance. And it is recommended to use a welding rod with a higher performance to ensure that the performance of the weld is not lower than that of the base metal. There are 6 precautions for use. The first is that the oil paint or other dirt on the surface of the base metal should be carefully removed before welding. And to prevent blow holes, short arc welding is used. You should also use a small welding current. Do not preheat before welding. And keep a low in-pass temperature less than 150 degrees Celsius to avoid overheating of the base metal. During the welding, the ring edge of the electrode should be small and stay on both sides of the welding feet for a long time to facilitate the emergence of the pores and welding stuff. We should also pay attention to filling the arc crater when floating the arc to avoid crater cracks. The last precaution is the microstructure of nickel and nickel alloys is arsenic, which has a strong tendency to cause cracking. When welding fillet welds, the weld is required to be convex, which can better prevent the generation of hot cracks. The next is copper and copper alloy electrodes. They are mainly used for welding copper. In order to obtain high quality welds and reduce the oxidization of alloy elements, copper and copper alloy electrodes, should use alkaline low hydrogen coatings. That's all for today's instruction, and I hope you can have a better understanding. Welcome my next colleague to present you another one for illustration skills.
Hi, my dear friends. This is coming from ED China. Now I'd like to introduce the cobalt alloy and the dental alloy. This is our catalog, and firstly I will introduce the cobalt alloy, and the second I will introduce the dental alloy. Daylight force and the seat. The material of stainless. Stainless is a hard alloy that can withstand various types of wear and caution a high temperature oxidation, commonly known as COPRW or cobalt-based alloy. And the stainless is based on cobalt as the main component. It contains a considerable amount of nickel, chromium, tungsten. And this is a product of stainless. The first picture shows us the stainless ball. The stainless ball is cobalt alloy. The hardness is HRC 45 to HRC 25. The mostly used material is stainless 20. And the stainless seats. The material of the wire seats is generally lower than the material of the wire ball. The material is stainless 3. We also call it A3. You can see these are the photos of stainless balls and seats. There are 2 videos about stainless balls and seats. Please watch it. As you can see, the surface is very light.